So in the previous section, we have learned to compensate for the effects of input offset voltage, input bias current, and we have also seen the input offset current also. So now in this discussion so far, we have assumed that these parameters, that is VIO, IB, and IIO, these three parameters are constant for a given op amp. Means they will remain always constant, but this is not the case. In practice, these values vary with respect to few other parameters. Let me take those parameters. First one is the change in the temperature. Every time we see that the temperature changes in an environment, so definitely when we conduct temperature experiments, one at a low temperature and another temperature, so definitely due to this variation in the temperature, there will be variation in the VIO, IB, and IIO. Second, there may be changes in the supply voltage. Fluctuations are there in the supply voltage. We can never get a fixed supply voltage, so we may get changes in the supply voltage. What is the supply voltage over here? These are the biasing voltages, that is plus VCC and minus VEE. And third, with respect to time also, some values of the resistance, capacitance, transistor values, they may change. So these are the three major factors on which again these IIO, IB, and IIO are going to depend. Right, so the most serious variation जो हम यहाँ पे देखते हैं mostly, that is mainly due to the temperature. So we will consider only this part. We assume that we will accommodate for all these things. We will have some compensating things, or sometimes we can't do anything with respect to time. Some equipments जो है वो fatigue हो जाते हैं, उनका change हो जाती है, properties change होती है. We can't control that, but one thing that we can do here is the change in the temperature. So this is important because a slight variation in the temperature may result into large variation in the IIO, IB, and IIO, and we have already seen in the previous lecture that how these three can be multiplied with the gain and result into the large amount of the output voltage change. So let's discuss this change in the temperature, which is discussed under the topic thermal drift. So we normally use word thermal drift whenever we have changes with respect to the temperature. So this thermal drift is nothing but the average rate of change. It is called as the average rate of change of input offset voltage, input offset voltage per unit change in temperature. It is called as thermal drift, और जब हम इसको इनपुट ऑफसेट वोल्टेज कहते हैं तो हम इसको थर्मल वोल्टेज ड्रिफ्ट कह देते हैं. थर्मल वोल्टेज ड्रिफ्ट. It means there is drift in the voltage due to the temperature. So this thermal voltage drift is denoted by, as I said, that this is input offset voltage. So input offset voltage को हम represent करते हैं VIO से, and the change in the temperature will be represented by delta T. So this will be represented by delta VIO by delta T. It means it is average rate of change of input offset voltage per unit change in the temperature. So definitely its units will be in volts. इस voltage की unit जो है वो small होती है, तो इसको हम micro volts में लिखते हैं, divided by temperature को हम degree centigrade में लिखते हैं. So it is expressed in the micro volt per degree centigrade. So this is normally called as thermal voltage drift, where we have compared our input offset voltage with the time with the temperature. Then next, if I say input offset current को अगर मैं compare करूँ with respect to the temperature, so second type of thermal drift which we have, that is thermal drift in the, for example, if you take input offset voltage, input offset voltage, then input offset voltage is delta IIO. It is, और अगर मैं change की बात करूँ, it is input offset voltage IIO. So thermal drift in input offset voltage will be represented as delta, that is change in average rate of change in input offset current divided by the change in the temperature. So it will be delta T. Now what will be its units? Its units, current units क्या होते हैं? Ampere. This current is very small, so we may take it in picoamperes per degree centigrade. Similarly, the third one is, we have considered this input offset, we have considered this IIO, third one is the IB. So this is the input bias current. So third I will say thermal drift in the input bias current. So input bias current is nothing but IB. So I can write here that this will be represented as average rate of change in the input bias current divided by the temperature. Again it is current, so I will take its units in picoampere per degree centigrade. So these are the three different drifts which we considered in the thermal drift. Means thermal means with respect to temperature when we are having changes in either of these three values. Now again, the most important of this is the delta VIO, delta IIO. Delta IB is not important. This is not so important in case of thermal drift. We only take these two parameters. We always compensate for these two parameters. And we have in the data sheets, if we look at the data sheet of either 741 or some other IC, you will find in those data sheets there will be some graphs like this. So if I have a if I draw a graph, for example, draw a graph. So in those graphs we have this x-axis as temperature. Now we need to, whenever we draw the graph, we need to take a zero value. So I hope you all have studied this or all have heard the normalized values. So we take here the normalized values of, for example, if I am drawing it within the VIO, right? So I will write normalized value of VIO. Normalized value of VIO means that whatever the value of VIO will exist at room temperature. What is room temperature? It is 25 degrees centigrade. So whatever the value of VIO will exist for that IC at room temperature, that will be considered zero. And above that temperature, it will be incremented with respect to this delta VIO by delta T, and similarly to the left hand side. So here I will draw this normalized VIO input offset voltage. So you may take it in millivolts or microvolts. Let me take here the millivolts because in the data sheet it is given as millivolts. So this value will be around, over here it is -2. So this is -2 volts, millivolts. This is -1, and this is zero value over here. So this is that zero that is at room temperature. So exactly if I draw here, and room temperature will come out to be around here, for example 25 degrees centigrade, is in degrees centigrade. So this is the point. So this is my reference point. It means when I am moving or I am increasing the temperature, so this value of the VIO will start increasing, and when I will go back or below the room temperature, this value is decreasing. So this is the curve that I obtained. So with the help of these curves, we can find the change in the variations of our input offset voltage with respect to the temperature. Similarly, you will find it for the other also, that is the input offset current and the input bias current. If I draw them also, these curves will be like this. You can find it on your books, or you can search it on the internet also. So for example, it is -10, it is 0, it is for example 5. My graph may not be exact, but I just assume that. So this is again a 25 value because it is again going to be a normalized value, and it is VIO normalized value. Not VIO, let me take it to input offset current, IIO normalized value. So you will find this curve also like this, going from, for example, here it is -5, so it is going from here to like this. So this will exactly come at point this. So this will be, yeah. And in the last case, if I take the IB, so it is decreasing one. it means the value of IB decreases with respect to the temperature. So as we are increasing the temperature, the value of normalized value of the IB or the base current, here we can't take normalized values because IB is equal to we have already seen it is the average of the two base currents IB1 and IB2. So for example, if it is 80, it is somewhere it is 50, it is somewhere it is 20, so it is decreasing with respect to temperature. So now we have to make for example, this is my 25 degrees centigrade. So from here I can see that this is the IB current value at the room temperature. Now if I am moving up more than the room temperature, maybe 30 degrees centigrade, 40 degrees centigrade, its value is decreasing. But if I am moving towards the lower temperatures, maybe for example 15 degrees centigrade, so its value is increasing. So this compensation has to be done. It can be related like this, that I have done one experiment at Himalayas, and at Himalaya the temperature was 15 degrees centigrade. So over there the base current was around 70, let us assume. Whereas I have taken that same IC, 741 IC, and I have gone to a desert place where the temperature was around 40 degrees centigrade, and I found the IB current has now changed. So how I will come to know कि वो कितना change हुआ? So I will look at this data sheet, and there I will find that now it has changed to 40 value. So there is a difference in the 30 you can say, in if I am considering this temperature this value of in milliampere, so there will be 30 milliampere change only due to the temperature. So this has to be compensated, otherwise the results that I am getting will be not validated, or you can simply say that there are errors in those results on these output voltages that we will achieve. Is it clear to you that why these thermal drifts are important and how they have been overcome with the help of the data sheets? Right? So I guess it is clear to you. Now next is the effect of variation in the power supply. As I said that there are power supply fluctuations also. So next we will discuss the effect of variation in power supply. Voltage. So again same case is over here. Three parameters are there: VIO, IB and IIO. These all three change with respect to the power supply fluctuations also. But again we discuss here it only in the case of the VIO, because this is an important term which have a major impact with the power supply fluctuations. So in the various books or in the various data sheets you will find various terms like input offset voltage sensitivity. If I write here input offset voltage sensitivity, then you may find power supply rejection ratio, or power supply sensitivity. And power supply or supply voltage rejection ratio. So these all things same: supply voltage, the rejection ratio. So these all tells us about the same thing. It means they will telling us that the change in the input offset voltage with respect to the change in the supply voltage. For example, input offset voltage is denoted as VIO, is my input offset voltage. And the change in the supply voltage let be denoted by delta V. So it is change in supply voltage. So it is very simple again. So as I said that it is simply the ratio of these two, ratio of input of change in the input offset voltage to the change in the supply voltage. So I can say that there is one ratio delta VIO by delta V. So this value is important to understand for the power supply fluctuations. For example, if I take a 741 IC example, if I take a 741 IC example, in this case delta VIO by delta V, it is around 150 microvolt per volt maximum. Why as maximum means this will the maximum variation that we will see. It means for a 1 volt change, for 1 volt change in supply, I will find there will be 150 microvolt change in input offset voltage in VIO simply. Right, so this is important. If I found that if this 150 microvolt instead of 150 I have 200 microvolts, then definitely there are more fluctuations with 1 volt change. So these things has to be corrected, and whenever we have fluctuations we need to add and subtract these values. So we have a formula for this which is called as supply voltage rejection ratio, which we mostly use in these terms. As I said that all these 4 terms can be used: input offset voltage sensitivity, power supply rejection ratio, power supply sensitivity, supply voltage rejection ratio. So in our curriculum we have this term supply voltage rejection ratio. So this supply voltage rejection ratio is nothing but equal to delta VIO by delta V, and when it is represented in the form of the ratio, then it is given as microvolt per volts, and it can also be represented in the form of dB. So when we represent it in the form of dB, it is equal to 20 log of 1 by supply voltage rejection ratio. Now this is important. If the supply voltage rejection ratio is small, that IC will be considered good, because there is small variation in the delta VIO with respect to the delta V. But when we are representing it in dB, look here, the supply voltage rejection ratio is going in the denominator. It means higher the value in the dB, the better is my IC. So if I take an example here, let us take this example of 150 microvolt. So if I convert it into dB, so it will be equal to 20 log of 1 by supply voltage rejection ratio. As I said, it is equal to ratio of delta VIO by delta V, and it is equal to 20 log of what is delta VIO by delta V. In the case of 741 IC, I said it is 150 microvolt per volts, so it is 150 microvolts per volts, and it will come out to be around 20 log of if I convert this 1 by 150 microvolt, it will be, micro will be written as 10 raised to the power 6 in the numerator, and 150 as it is. So it will come out to be, if we solve it, it will, can you tell me what is this value? 20 log of 10 raised to the 6 by 150. Okay, I will take this value, that is 76.48 dB. So it will come out to be around 76.48 dB. Now let us take one more value. If I take 15.85 microvolts, that is if my standing wave rejection ratio is equal to 15.85 microvolts per volt, then what is going to happen in my dB? If I check it in dB terms, then I will write again 20 log of 1 by 15.85 microvolt per volt, and when I will solve it, it will come out to be around equal to 96 dB. So look here, two things I am discussing here. One is standing wave rejection ratio, SVRR, and other the same thing but in dB form. I said that whenever the standing wave rejection ratio is small, if its value is small, then it results into a better IC. Why better IC? Because fluctuations will be small. But if the dB value, if you look at this dB value, look at these two values which I have calculated. For 150 microvolts, for 150 microvolts per volt, the dB value was 76.48, and as I have reduced the value of 150 to 15.85, my dB value has increased. It means when I am taking the value in dB, this dB value should be large. Why it should be large? For the better IC. So these two differences you must know, that if we are taking the standing wave rejection ratio only, then it must have small values for the better IC, whereas if we are converting it in dB, it must have the large values for the better IC. Is it clear to you? So you may find some numericals. For example, if I take a very small numerical, that if my voltage fluctuation, or simply this can be taken as this, that if find the standing wave rejection ratio in dB, if there is 15.85 microvolt change per 1 volt, or if they say 15.85 microvolt change for 4 volts, then we simply accommodate it according to it for 1 volt, and we will put it in this formula and we will calculate the value in dB. So I guess you all can solve these questions. Let me take an example. Okay, let's take an example to get a better understanding of the numericals on this. So in the example, we may have to determine the output offset voltage. Let's see, determine, write down this numerical, determine determine the change in, change कर लेते हैं, determine the change in output offset voltage caused by change in supply, change in supply, that is supply voltage, right? And let's say the change in supply voltage is from 18 to 22 volts, right? So there is a supply change हमें दे दी है 18 to 22 volts, and the output voltage, इसमें और क्या चाहिए होगा हमें, सप्लाई वोल्टेज वेरिएशन मिल गई हमें, स्टैंडिंग वेव रेशियो दे देते हैं इसमें, एंड स्टैंडिंग वेव रिजेक्शन रेशियो इज इक्वल टू, सेम ऊपर वाली यूज कर लेते हैं 96 dB. So how we will solve it? We have given the variation from 18 to 22 volt. It means 4 volt variation is there. 18 से 22 तक 4 volts की वेरिएशन है हमारे पास. And supply voltage rejection ratio is given 96 dB. So you have to find the value of the output offset voltage. Now output offset voltage निकालनी है, इसको पहले ये दोनों कर देते हैं, change in input and output offset voltage दोनों हम निकालते हैं. तो पहले input offset voltage को हम निकालते हैं. तो standing wave rejection ratio जो कि 96 dB है, इसकी हमें दूसरी रेशो वाली वैल्यू चाहिए. तो अभी हमने यहाँ पे कैलकुलेट की, इट इज इक्वल टू 15.85 माइक्रोवोल्ट्स पर वोल्ट. सो आई विल यूज दिस वैल्यू डायरेक्टली. So I will say here standing wave rejection ratio will come out to be 15.85 microvolts per volt. This will be my value. If this is my value, it is equal to what I said, standing wave rejection ratio was equal to delta VIO by delta V. Now delta VIO is not given. This is what I have to find. Input offset voltage I have to find. But delta V is given. What is delta V? 18 to 22. It is important here to remember that this 18 to 22 is in the both sides. It means if we normally see here the voltage, it is plus VCC to minus VEE. And if I take some IC value, it is around plus 10 volt to minus 10 volt. So it implies that there is the variation of 20 volts normally. तो टू पॉजिटिव साइड होती है, टू नेगेटिव साइड होती है. सो 18 to 22 विल बी कंसिडर्ड ओनली अ डेल्टा वी ऑफ 2 volts, क्योंकि दो आपकी पॉजिटिव वाली वोल्टेज में अकोमोडेट होती है, दो आपकी नेगेटिव वाली साइड होती है. सो चेंज इन सप्लाई वोल्टेज है यहाँ पे डेल्टा वी, दैट मस्ट बी इक्वल टू 2 volts. सो दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर आपके पास वेरिएशन 4 volts की है तो आप उसको हाफ कर देंगे, इट विल बी इक्वल टू 2 volts. ठीक है, ये आपके डायग्राम से या क्वेश्चन में जो है वो इस तरह से दिया होता है, आपको उसको हाफ करना पड़ता है. So we will find here delta VIO will be equal to 15.85 microvolt will be written as 10 to the power minus 6 volts will be cancelled out into delta V. As I said, delta V will be equal to 2, so it will come out to be, you can multiply it. कितनी आ जाएगी इसकी वैल्यू? 2 5 is 10, 2 8 is 16, 117, 2 5 is 10, 111, 2 1 is 2, 1, 3. So it will be around 31.70 microvolts. So this will be the variation that you will face with the fluctuation from 18 to 22 volts. So this was the first part. Second part is to find the output offset voltage. So definitely you need to have the gain over here. कितना gain है उस op amp का. So let me take here नॉन इन्वर्टिंग कन्फिग्रेशन. अगर मैं सपोज कर लेता हूँ, सपोज कर लेते हैं हम नॉन इन्वर्टिंग कन्फिग्रेशन. जस्ट सपोज नॉन इन्वर्टिंग कन्फिग्रेशन. What is the gain of non-inverting configuration? Anyone? Very good. So we have here the output is equal to, if I write this formula, 1 plus RF upon R1 into the input. This is the formula. Now I need to have the values of RF and R1 also. So I will assume RF equal to 100 kilo ohm. And R1 for simplicity I will take 1 kilo ohm. Right, so now look here, I need to find the output offset voltage, because this was my question. I need to find this output offset voltage here. So this output offset voltage will be due to this input offset जो हमने यहाँ पे निकाली delta VIO. So directly I can say that output offset voltage, or simply the change in the output offset voltage, will be equal to 1 plus RF will be 100K divided by 1K into what is delta VIO. It is 31.70 into 10 raised to the minus 6 for microvolts. So when you will solve it, you will get something around equal to, you can solve it 101 with this, or if I directly do, it will be around 3.2 millivolts. So this is the output offset voltage that we will face, or the change in the voltage that will be there due to this fluctuation from 18 to 22 volts.